It felt as though once I stopped obsessing over where the money would come from, opportunities I hadn't even think about suddenly appeared. That experience completely changed my mindset. Thank you for being able to help to shift my focus away from fear and towards the possibility. I'll always be grateful for your support. Hi, and welcome back to my manifesting story series. So I've been reaching out to my clients and just saying, can you send me in, your version of events on the back of the work we did and the manifesting, success that you had. So this particular client of mine, this was towards some money that he needed. So this is financial manifestation. Again, before I read the story, I have changed the name to identify them so that their identity is protected. So this is an email from, we'll call him Aman. So, hi Suman. I wanted to share this story for a while because it completely changed the way I think about manifestation. When I first contacted you, I was feeling overwhelmed. My family owned a business, and after some changes within the family, there was legal and financial matters that needed sorting out. I knew I wanted to secure my future with the business, but there was one major problem. I needed money that I simply didn't have at the time. And every time I thought about it, I kept asking myself, where's this money ever going to come from? So for context for this particular person, and this was actually one of my first clients that I had that was out of my local regional range of people that I worked with. I think they saw me online, or I think they Googled me or something. So we had like no connections or, people in common. But they actually, the shop that they're talking about, they actually was mostly running the shop for their family, compared to his siblings. So he didn't like the fact that it was up for dispute of the ownership, or that the other people might think to sell it, but he wanted to work there. So anyways, he goes on to say, during our coaching sessions, you helped me focus on the lack instead of focusing on, to stop focusing on the lack and start instead focusing on the outcome I wanted. We worked through the subconscious blocks using hypnotherapy and timeline therapy techniques, creating that personalized affirmations that really helped, and the letter for my future self, describing my life through everything as it's already worked out. Slowly, I stopped worrying about how the money would arrive, and I started focusing on what life would look like once everything had been resolved. Then something completely unexpected happened. Out of the blue, someone contacted me about the money they owed me from some time ago. I'd almost forgotten about it because I never expected to receive it. And instead of paying me gradually as originally discussed, they handed me a lump sum of £8,000. I honestly couldn't believe it. I even remember sending you a photo of it because I was so shocked. And I actually remember this photo being sent to me. They literally had the physical cash in their hands. Remember, it was just a wad of cash. And they were just like, "Someone, look at this." Not because of the amount, but it was just that it arrived exactly at the time I needed, and most of it that I could move forward for the legal process that they needed the payment for. It felt as though once I stopped obsessing over where the money would come from, opportunities I hadn't even think about suddenly appeared. That experience completely changed my mindset. Thank you for being able to help to shift my focus away from fear and towards the possibility. I'll always be grateful for your support. Kind regards, Aman. So one of the things I absolutely love about this story is that it's not that the money came the way he expected. Again, a lot of us have expectations about it'll come this way, it's going to come that way. But sometimes the most unexpected way is how it sometimes comes. And it wasn't even just a lottery win or a random miracle. It was through something that had existed, but just something that he hadn't considered. Sometimes we get so focused on how something should happen, we overlook the other ways that life can unfold. So whether you're using the lens of the manifestation mindset or simply just getting more open to opportunities around us, it's a great reminder this story is about the route to your goal often can look different from the one you imagined. So if you've got a manifestation story you'd love to share with me, or even anonymously, please send it through. I'd love to hear it. I'm sure all the audience that I've got here too would love to hear it. Just send a DM to me, or you can email me at suman@manifestationmaven.co.uk. And until next time, keep manifesting.